When he was 14, I found him unresponsive at my house. A few friends had come over and they gave him Xanax. I could sense there was something going on. I said, you know what? I should call the police.
911, what's your emergency?
I started shaking him because he wouldn't wake up. When they injected him, he woke up. He said, Dad, I'm okay, I just need a little sleep. Paramedics said, no, you're not okay. We take him to the hospital because we have to pump a lot of stuff out of you. I was this close in losing him. My son one time told me, Dad, being an addict is a disease. If I had cancer, people would have more empathy instead of me having an addiction. They look at me in a whole different way as a criminal. Saw so many things. I had gun pulled on me, I had knife pulled on me. I used to actually sometimes dive in to get drugs because I didn't want to get hurt. And I wanted to protect him from that. In between his addiction and being a little bit sober, there was like a few hours of clarity. And he used to come and hug me. He said, Dad, you're the only person who never give up on me. And, whoa, that was so tough to hear from someone you love. Unfortunately, a couple of his friends died from overdose. He got scared. He wanted to change. At some point, when his second friend passed away, that was the end of the line for him, and he's been sober since then. It was difficult raising a son by yourself, and I wouldn't change it with anything else in my life because it's the best thing ever happened to me. And the first day when he was born, I had this feeling that I'm going to be his protector for the rest of my life. I think I've done a good job because I think I laid a good foundation for him to be a good person. And now that he's sober, God, what a young man. And I'm so proud of my son for accomplishing something that it's so difficult to do and not too many people are able to accomplish. Addiction is a disease. Sometimes it's hereditary or whatever it is, but people have it. How you deal with it is a whole different thing. I dealt with his with a lot of compassion and love. If I had kicked him out and something had happened to him, my life would be over. There would be no meaning.
Some people that probably don't have any interaction with someone who's used drugs, they think that, this person, they got into drugs or they made bad choices or they didn't have anyone that told them right from wrong. But starting on patrol, I was able to talk to these people that were drug users. They would tell me that they had an injury, they got a prescription from a doctor legitimately. After a while, the prescription ran out. They were then addicted, or maybe they enjoyed the feeling, or maybe they were still in pain. So they were seeking out illegal drugs, or maybe some of them were asking friends for prescriptions, or, oh, your grandma takes this, can I get an extra pill here, there, too? And sometimes that led to needing more because much like anything else, your tolerance goes up, your frequency use goes up. The inkling is if you get more drugs, then the withdrawal goes away. That's how the addiction cycle begins.
They're so addicted to the drug. When they come off of it, it is the worst flu that you can think of. They tell me that their stomach cramps up. It feels like they turn in their stomach, putting it into a knot and pulling on both sides. They get fevers, chills. And so what's going on is the body is saying, hey, give me more of that, because it's built up a tolerance, which is addiction, and they need more of that drug in order to feel good. Not high, good, just to be normal for the day. This evolution of addiction just getting more and more because the potency of these drugs are getting stronger and stronger. And that goes for every drug.
Today we see opioid overdoses, in particular fentanyl, that is considered a downer or a depressant medication, as opposed to what we were seeing before, which were the methamphetamines and the cocaine, which are called stimulants, and they're the uppers. Patients are sleepy. They might also be unconscious. They're not able to be aroused. Their eyes are also what we call pinpoint. The pupils, the black circles in the eyes, are very constricted. They are very depressed, and so very slow, and also very inappropriate, very shallow breathing. That's the overdose that we see now with opioids and fentanyl. Oftentimes, unfortunately, this can lead to cardiac arrest and death.
We're here at Montrose Park, where I spent a lot of time with my younger brother, Chase Malone. Chase, who at the age of 27, he passed away from an accidental fentanyl overdose back in 2021.
He had gotten to a fight with a family member. He left and was upset, and we had no idea this was transpiring in the background of our lives, but the forefront of his life. I was the person he talked to about everything, I thought. So not only was it tragic and shocking, I felt, and I still sometimes get the feeling, how did I fail him that he didn't call me and he didn't reach out to say, Mom, I need help.
You don't have to ask your friends, hey man, are you doing drugs? Like, are you overdosing? You don't have to be that specific. And to this day, that will always be my biggest regret, is just simply not saying, man, like, how are you? Miss you.
We spent a lot of time here playing the same team. He was a pitcher, he was a catcher, he was a really good catcher. Even when we weren't playing baseball, we'd come here sometimes after school and just skateboard and hang out here at this park. So it does mean a lot to us.
I've lost my biological father, friends, other family members, but my own child, this was something my body, my brain, my heart could not understand.
Chase passed away. His autopsy report was an accidental overdose.
They didn't think he was trying to end his life. It's the fact that the pill was tainted with fentanyl. And we know the size of a pencil tip is enough to kill somebody.
The accidental part now is purely because of fentanyl, because you accidentally consumed something that you did not have the intention to do so.
Everyone has that same mentality. It's not going to happen to me. It's around our towns. It's in our schools. Kids can easily access it. If we're talking exclusively about fentanyl, I would just say you're gambling with your life.
In the past, if you were a struggling addict, you had maybe time was something that you had as a resource. You had the time to reach out or to even go through overdoses, to be, hey, I've reached my own rock bottom and now I need to get help. With fentanyl, you don't even reach your rock bottom. It could be one time and death is the only result. when Chase died, so did his dad.
I ultimately think it might have ended his life, just losing my brother. And part of me wishes he was still here. A big part of me wishes he was still here, but I know it seems like he was at peace now. It was just tormenting him about losing my brother. And I know it does with all parents. No parent wants to bury their child, as we've always heard.
Chase was a very enigmatic individual. Even at a young age, it felt like he had a different approach to life. I was the new kid in town. My last name is Butt, and as a young kid, that was its own obstacles to go through. And as I was sitting there in my first day of 5th grade, after coming from a entirely different school district, not knowing a single person, I just look over and this guy's just kind of like smiling ear to ear looking at me. And in that moment, I knew that whether or not me and this kid became friends, he was somebody I wanted to gravitate towards. And that relationship just kind of blossomed into high school days and really hit its front right when drugs really started becoming into the picture.
This is a place that I feel his energy and his joy, remembering him cracking the bat, hitting a home run, and running the bases, and all the cheering, and his smile.
We see more and more overdose on fentanyl these days than any other drug. The sad thing about fentanyl is they're mixing it in with other types of drugs like stimulant drugs, cocaine, methamphetamine, those types of drugs, when people are not requesting that type of high.
Morphine is something that I prescribe it in milligrams, and fentanyl is prescribed in micrograms. That can give you sort of an idea of how much stronger fentanyl is as opposed to morphine.
I got a call the other night where someone was pounding on a door. It was at a bar. They were asking for help. They said, please call 911. His friend that was laying down in the parking lot was frothing from the mouth. He was maybe breathing twice every minute. His pupils were constricted, pinpointed out, and he was very honest. He says, I ordered up cocaine. We used cocaine on the hood of my car, and it's not cocaine, it's something else. And it was fentanyl. While looking at this gentleman that's trying to help his friend, I saw his pupils were very constricted. And I asked him if he was okay, and he immediately just fell over and fell onto the ground, and now he was going into the same shock and overdose symptoms of his friend.
When marijuana is laced with fentanyl, then you also sort of increase that effect of the depressant, right? And so the marijuana was going to get you a little drowsy and calm, while the fentanyl is going to augment that. And then your breathing starts to get affected, and then your heart rate starts to get affected. Those are not typical effects of marijuana. You could collapse in the first few seconds, so that's pretty immediate, and you could then go into cardiac arrest or die within a minute or a minute and a half.
You You wouldn't be able to tell a fake one apart from one prescribed by a doctor made at a legitimate lab in America versus one made by a drug dealer somewhere who was trying to make it look like the real pill. But the fake pill oftentimes has fentanyl in it. And the potency of that fentanyl being in it can make people overdose instantly.
If you don't have any to bring in, no pills to bring in, you can't come in. When everybody's there, we all pour it on the table, and you just take whatever's in there.
How much do you take?
As many as you want.
They're called farming parties. And it's not F-A-R-M, it's P-H-A. Farming, like pharmaceuticals.
The drug of choice is Xanax, which they call bars. They also like to take oxycodone, Valium, Percocet, anything that teens can get from their parents' medicine cabinet.
You raid your parents' medicine cabinet, and you bring the pills from your parents' medical cabinet and put them in a bowl when you get there. Instead of putting your keys there, you're putting your pills in there. And a lot of these kids are popping 2 or 3 different types of pills that they don't even know what may be in it.
I'm not feeling anything. I need to take more. I need to take more.
And you took more?
I kept taking more, and I kept popping more pills. Next thing that I knew, I woke up the next day, and I'm like, whoa, what happened?
The community needs to know that if your children get their hands on this, there's a high likelihood that your children can die.
Out of high school, we pretty much started writing original music. We created a band and then got signed to kind of a major label when we were all 20 years old. That's when things kind of got interesting. Yeah.
Early 2000, we were blessed to get a record deal from Serge Tankian from System of a Down.
Almost like we're rock stars now, so like let's party like rock stars.
So everything is fine, and you're getting good money, you're recording at a good place, you know. And it's a celebration time because you see 4 guys that have dedicated all their lives to play music.
After parties got a little wild. I, at the time, was naive about what was going on because I would get tired and I had to go home and get some sleep, but these guys were still going, you know, and then it took a little while until I became savvy that they were using some pretty hard stuff. And
you're saying, Mom, Dad, look what I did. This is what we're doing. But along the side, there are these dark places that appear not so dark in the beginning. But then again, that transition is so quick. Our drummer, Vegan, was a very social person. He loved bringing people together. And of course, every time we would have a party, you would have hundreds of people. We have all sorts of people partying together. They're there. People would party for 3 days in a row, right? And the party never stopped. But when Vegan passed, maybe 5 of those people were there. So you see it coming, and you see it when it's happening, and you know where it's going. And because everything is working out fine, people don't know that it's headed the wrong way. Because at that moment, it is going the right way. That's the lifestyle they wanted, right? Because that's what you see in the movies. And it's glorified in movies. That's glorified, right? So what's a little $100 here, $200 here and there? It's fun. The beginning stages is fun, and you're creative.
You know, soon enough, things started to deteriorate, and I started to see like communication between us deteriorate. Their temperament, their productivity, their face. their punctuality and how they show up at places and when they show up, if they show up.
And you notice that your band members are missing meetings, important meetings. They're missing label meetings. They're missing management meetings. People showed up to our performances without their instruments because they forgot their instrument. People are not calling you back. The record label is not calling you back because they see what's going on. People are not investing in you anymore. So you slowly, those big parties where we had the signing party and the shows and the parties, slowly they become the same people and the wrong people. And you kind of see the cavity within the group.
There was no one guiding the ship, it was kind of like what I would call a ship of fools at the time, and it was like sinking. So soon after I had to basically jump ship, because I saw it as like a sinking situation, and I basically had to save myself, Ultimately, what happened is they both ended up being living in RVs on the street, actually, like in homeless encampments, and one of them ended up passing away.
How quickly time passes. And what you do every day becomes your life story. Like you think, oh, it's just one more day, let me just sleep, let me not go to work, let me not do this, but very quickly it becomes 25 years.
Things like substance abuse sees no borders. Whether it's Latino, Armenian, American, whatever the case might be, no group is immune to being impacted by this. Access is as great as it's ever been. So that's something that we've got to battle both in law enforcement and in our communities to kind of counteract that, to make sure that we're keeping our community safe. My name's Manny Sid. Fortunate enough to serve as the police chief here in the City of Glendale. Been in law enforcement now for about 20 years. Love the profession, love being able to engage with the community, and be in a position where I can try to lead and have a positive impact. An important part of what we do from a police department standpoint is good law enforcement, which is going to mean going out, arresting folks for possession of narcotics, sales of narcotics, and we're going to continue to do that. We're also trying to offer resources to these folks that many of them are dealing with substance abuse issues, need the help, want the help. We're offering them that resource in-house here at our department. We enjoy a great deal of safety in Glendale, and it really is on a bunch of different fronts. One of the safer communities to live in, a great place to raise a family, outstanding schools, but that doesn't mean we're without crime, and that certainly doesn't mean that we're in any way immune to some of the challenges that come from things like drug abuse, and maybe more specifically what we've seen in recent years, the impacts that fentanyl is having throughout our country, throughout our region, and Glendale's no exception to that.
No. All right. Keep your hands down to your side, and keep your heel and toe touching, okay? Just like this. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take 9 heel to toe steps, okay? It's gonna look like this. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna continue to 9. On the 9th step, you're gonna keep your leaf planted on the ground. And you're gonna make a series of small steps. And you're gonna take 9 heel to toe steps back. Same way. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9. The entire time you're going through the test, you're gonna keep looking at your feet.
As a kid, I used to tell my teachers and like my parents or like the police that I'll be dead by the time I'm 16, because my friends would be dying too, so. But then life goes on, and like I end up turning 16 and I'm still alive. And then I took so long thinking negatively that it didn't allow me to learn skills that I could use now as a 16-year-old or as an adult. I don't know, I just guess that when I was young, people made it look glamorous, you know, the older kids on the block, you know. Like the life of, you know, being on drugs or, you know, just life of the streets. It's not a culture, it's more like a bunch of vultures, in a way. Well, a police officer here was the one that narcaned me. Like, I didn't know how to react to it, because all my life I've hated the cops. I would have expected them to just, you know, prolong it and like let me just die there. But they didn't. The feeling is like not having the feeling at all, like to be living without emotion. I can honestly say that I'm not really living at the moment, like I'm just existing. I'm sorry. And just, yeah.
What are you sorry for?
I don't know. Just being a part of the problem. I hope to be a part of the solution one day. And to just keep striving on. Keep pushing forward.
As long as you identify the problem and you accept the problem for what it is, you've done step one. Your son or daughter may be a great athlete, but you can't want them to play that sport more than they do. Mm-hmm. Same thing with addiction. When they want to stop, they'll stop. Or they'll ask for help, and that's the best time to help them. But you can't sweep it under the rug and say my son or my daughter doesn't have an addiction problem. You have to be willing to talk to them and not ignore the problem. I'm not telling you how to parent. However, I would tell you to get educated on the signs and symptomologies of drug use. Number 2 is be present. Be present in your child's life. Know who their friends are. Know the phone numbers to those friends.
You know, as a father, what I try to do is be very present with my children, both physically, emotionally present with them, engaged with them, really involved in anything and everything that they're doing in their life, monitoring, you know, some of their activity, and that up to and includes the internet. That's not something that we had to deal with in decades past, or I had to deal with as a youth, but now that's a big part of our youth's lives, and my daughters are no exception to that.
Have those conversations, those awkward conversations with your teens. Let them be open to you. Let them talk to you. Tell you, yeah, I have friends that have tried that, or I have friends that did this. Ask them, have you? Do surprise checks when your kids come home. Do they smell like alcohol? Are they going down the wrong path? Do their eyes look bloodshot and watery? If your child is of driving age, do you go through their car? Do you look to see what's in their car? Is there paraphernalia? Are there vape pens? Does it smell like marijuana in there? Is it something doesn't look right? Then it's time to have that conversation.
Be alert. When you're under the influence, you're not alert. You're fooled by certain things. And just examine yourself and don't judge yourself. You know, even if other people judge you for something you've done, they'll forget too, you know. So will you. So just make it a good party. Make it a healthy, good party.
When someone passes away, life doesn't end there. There's people behind him that they're suffering because of their loss. Friends, family members, parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters. And
we all have something, and we need that safe place to talk. We need that safe place sometimes just to sit and be. And if we offer each other integrity and love and support, the nuances of the situation, we can get past those, but you can't get somebody back. You can't get time back. You can't get them back once they're gone. And if you could, my son would be here now, because I wish on it every single day. And I don't want anybody else to have to go through this.
Join me in the fight against fentanyl.